Welcome back. Oh, sound check. Good. Good. Quick sound check. Welcome back. I needed a bit more time to prepare tonight. Once again, another long day. But I'm happy to be here. And it's good to see you all again. So tonight, it's going to be Community Live again. I'm going to skip the long pleasantries because I've already delayed this long enough. We're doing beer chat again, and I don't know how we're gonna do this. I don't know how many people are gonna show up for this, but hopefully it'll be a pleasant time. Hopefully, and get my VR headset here, and might as well just talk and hang out for a bit. It's always nice if you do get lots of people showing up. It definitely makes things a lot more entertaining and very helpful. I suspect these two controllers survived when it was 10% energy left. I suspect I'm gonna have to finally replace the batteries on these things finally. And I have the AA batteries here ready to go. Trying to be careful with this thing. This thing is not something I can get again anytime soon. It's very expensive. And it doesn't matter if you can pay it off in 2-3 months. Doesn't matter. It's not cheap. Alrighty. Oh, headlink cable's over there. So let's put this on. I'm also very lucky that I can wear this VR headset and my eyeglass at the same time. So actually, that's a good thing. One time I was able to wear this for hours. No problem. Anyway, alrighty, let's do this. Okay, come on. Okay. I suspect the batteries for these controllers are finally dead. Let's see if I have to replace these. It's only one way to find out. I have the batteries here ready. Okay, let's see how much energy these things have. Okay. What? These are still alive? These are still alive. Okay, let's check how much battery. It still says 10%. After what? After several days of inactivity, there's still 10% energy in these things? Wow. I really thought I would have to replace these batteries today, but nope. Not quite yet. But the good news though is I have the AA batteries here ready to go. Just in case when they do finally fail. Okay, so here we go. Let's plug in. Let's get the headlink cable and plug it in again. I really need to do VR more often. It's been a huge challenge to do this more often. Alrighty. So I do the same trick like before. I plug in the headlink cable around the strap so that it's not gonna get yanked out accidentally. Okay, there. I want to be very careful when putting this in. There you go. All right, that's good. Enable. Okay, confirm. Good. Let's now just put these headphones on carefully. Okay. Alrighty. And the next thing I'm gonna do is put this down carefully. But first, just check to make sure that our headset microphone works. Good. The quality of the microphone on this is not the best, but it's still good enough. It's serviceable enough. Okay, put that down. And let us do this. I'm gonna be turning on VR chat here momentarily. Let me just turn this on first. I would not be surprised if I finally have to replace the batteries on these controllers today. I'm surprised they have lasted this long. Okay. Also, another easy tip for you VR users out there. Regardless which VR headset you use, try not to look down below the lens of your VR headsets. Otherwise, your eyes will start to get sick. Not sure how fast it'll get sick for you, but avoid doing that too often. I remember doing that a lot when I first started off with the VRs, with this VR headset, and it's terrible. So we are doing VR chat today because you guys voted for it. And I still have neglected to play mini VR games still. I haven't had the time to play other VR games outside of VR chat. Ugh, I wish I could do that more often. Anyway, I'm gonna quickly change the category since we are doing VR chat today. I think I might I might use that new world that I just found recently, but I think I'll just go with something that I'm familiar with. I don't know how many people are going to be showing up for VR chat today, but I'm going to see what I can do. Is there anything noteworthy that I might show today? Nothing really stands out. There are some worlds that I definitely would like to show, but nothing really stands out. And honestly, I'm just gonna keep it simple. We're gonna go with a typical hangout world here today. And that's the big question. What world would I do for today? This is not just for you guys that know me, but what about for the newcomers out there? This is gonna be a challenge. Just bear with me. I'm trying my best to choose a world here for you guys to come in. And I'll be switching to the camera view in-game here shortly. I don't know how often you see this in VR chat, but I'm not afraid to show myself getting prepared here. Nope. I'll choose a world that's both PC and Quest friendly because smartphone users. Is there something here that stands out? I'm trying to find a world that stands out. Something decent. It's hard to find. It's really hard to find something that's decent. Something decent. I'm trying my best to find something that I'm gonna rely on a world that I have done before, but is there something that I'm in the mood for? Something decent. You know what? I'll just go with this. This is not something I would normally do, but why not? Why not? Even though this space is not that big, I'm surprised the file size is large. But then again, it really depends how well optimized the world is. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Found it. Surprisingly, this world is optimized so far for the time being. Okay, so anchor, local, lens. Always got to do these few settings. Okay. I got the camera angle almost set. Now I just gotta find a decent angle for this. Just a decent angle. Trying to find a decent angle. Okay, this one should be decent. Looks like the world volume is still very high. Let's try 20%. And I gotta quickly check something here. How much resources is being used in this? Even though my VR headset in VR chat is only limited to 72 frames per second at its highest, I do recognize that my GPU still has to work really hard to both the game and the VR headset. It's surprising. Holy crap, my GPU is working hard. Oh my. Oh my, it's working that hard to produce these frames. Jesus. But thankfully, my GPU is not completely slowing me down. Okay, anyway. Let's begin, guys. I'm gonna switch the scene here. Sorry to keep you all waiting. Alright. Let's begin. I got the scene. And there it is. Woohoo! Finally got this thing working. Oh, finally. That took a while to put together. But anyway, welcome back. And honestly, how long has these two controllers been going for 10%? I honestly lost track of time, honestly. But honestly, I'm just happy. And I decided to do. I found a random world that I don't know if this world is something that you would normally see be used in VR chat, but I thought this would be decent. I don't know. This is something more close to real life in a way, but it can also be very creepy. Hey, Ruza, I found a different world to do in VR chat today. I don't know if it's your free day today, but I was trying to figure out what could I use for VR chat today as a background. I could have used a familiar one that you have seen before, but I did find this one just by pure chance, and I thought, okay, this should be decent. And yes, it's good to see you all again. And remember, guys, I did add more animated emotes or static emotes if you haven't been here in a while. And most of them are in tier 1, so if you either have a prime or tier 1, you only need to spend $5 and you get all those goodies for $5. I did add all those emotes, especially the animated emotes, because I thought it would add more value. And there are some in that collection that are really good. Oh, drawings. Honestly, Ruza, it'd be very nice to see you do drawings that's not commissioned. I don't know if you'll do it for free, but it's always nice to see people do fan art or fan drawings, you know, for their popular franchise and stuff like that. But that's always nice to see if people ever decide to do that. And when it comes to shirts, I will try to change that because I'm also trying to advertise our merch store, but I figured I have a better idea, but that's still a work in progress right now. But yes, regardless if you do a drawing for gift, whatever works for you. This world is nothing. This world is something more close to real life. I'm not really surprised how hard my GPU is working right now just to produce this. The funny thing is, I don't know if my GPU usage gets any better, but thankfully my computer is not working hard right now. I remember playing It Takes Two. I haven't played that game in a while at one point. For some reason, the computer decided, hey, you can run this game on Ultra at 200% resolution scale. I have never heard my computer work that hard before. It's a good thing I was able to turn that down. So now I know from that day on if my computer is working extremely hard or it's working normally. Quote unquote, normally. I'm just happy to be here. And once again, I decided to use this world as a backdrop or a background. I think it's decent. Something more close to real life and something that kind of reflects real life in a way. It's not all glorious knights and heroes, or it's not all rainbows. It's it's not all positive. There's always going to be a dark, and there's always going to be some dark side to it, even if you try to keep things positive. But why not? I'm surprised. I'm also noticing that there are not a lot of people that I normally know in VR chat online today. I think people are just taking it easy today. One of the things I've been trying to do for the last week or two is trying out other games, and not just desktop games. I'm talking VR games as well. I've been neglecting that part. I don't remember the last time going into a VR game like this and not be live at the same time. I've just been very, very busy. I mean, try my best to do as much as I can, but scheduling has been completely unstable, to say the least. I'm just happy that I'm still able to do this despite the limited free time that I have. I'm just glad that this is still going after 3 years. But if money was never gonna be an issue to do these shows with enough support from the audience, that would be very nice to have. More freedom, more things to do, probably more collaborations. But that's another interesting thing I always want to bring up again: collaborations. I'm gonna be honest. For those of you that know me, you know how I stand with collaborations. But to be truthfully here, which is not always easy to do, I do not care, or don't really care a lot for other creators I see on this platform. It's really hard. It has been very hard for me to find someone that to care about. I can only think of at least two creators that I sort of care, and I have enough respect for them, but I don't always have the time to drop by and say hello to them when they're doing their shows. Notice that I do not mention the word live streams here. I don't think that's a good word. I see this as no different as doing your own TV show, except it's funny. You can actually watch YouTube stuff on your TV with Wi-Fi on it. It is possible. So that's probably my shoehorn way of saying that this is no different to a TV show, except that it's a lot easier to do now. Oh, and speaking of which, did I forget to turn on background music again? Did I forget to do that? Oh, no, it's on. It's on. I always want to have some background music playing just to make this a little bit easier. And yes, Ruza, I chose this world because it's a little different. It's not much. It's nothing too crazy, but I think it's fine. It's just fine. Something close to reality. And surprisingly, it's not too unoptimized. So far, I'm getting about 60, 70 frames per second right now. It's not too terrible. Also, we got some, the typical rain and thunderstorm. Thankfully, the thunderstorms are not too loud. I don't like it when some maps, the thunderstorms are really loud and annoying. So yes, I found this world, Ruza. I found this world by pure chance on the new category, and I thought, okay, this can be something decent to do. It's nothing special. Looks something close to real life with, with the graffiti and stuff, but I just thought it would be decent. So, good to see you, Ruza. I needed a little bit more time to prepare today. Thankfully, I'm not too tired today like yesterday, thankfully. You're good. If you're not... Oh, that's good. I'm glad to hear your voice for once. I thought you're going to be no miking today.
Only half.
Oh, yes, Big. Technically, Big, we are in... whatever you want to call this. The description for this world is we are basically in an abandoned overpass or something like that. I don't mind either way. It's something a little different. I think that's the best way to describe this place. It's a little different. You still got running electricity, and you do have some pieces of art, if you will. I mean, the stuff you see here is no different to real life. I don't know if you live in a city or a town, but I see graffiti all the time in train yards. That's nothing new. Looks like Chicago. You know what's funny? This is not Chicago, but it does look like it, doesn't it? And you know, here's a short story for you, Big. It's good to see you again. And I was in Mexico months ago, and one of the tourists that I visited, one of the tourists that was along for the ride, he's from Chicago, and I asked him, "Is Chicago really that dangerous?" And he's not kidding. It is. It is very dangerous. Although he's very lucky to be living in a decent neighborhood. I think, if I remember correctly, he said he lives in the western part of Chicago, and I believe, if I got this right, the south side of Chicago is the worst part. It's very dangerous. Very dangerous. I don't know what neighborhood he was referring to, but he did say that the south side of Chicago is really bad. Really, really bad. I've seen Chicago PD, but I never actually watched a full episode of it. I've seen a couple of clips of it, but it doesn't have enough staying power in my head. And speaking of which, I forgot to go into my desktop panel and a desktop window here. Whoops, I forgot to add that. So let me just add one here. It took me a while to get used to this. Okay. And don't forget, if you're on Oculus, don't forget to pin it so you can always see it. So now I have it right here in front of me, so I don't have to never, ever look below your VR headset to the ground. Only look at it if you make sure you don't want to trip on things, but you do not do that a lot. Otherwise, your eyes will get sick very quickly. Very, very quickly. Well, depends on your eyes.
If you're actually used to playing a lot.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I don't know how many VR headsets are there out there, but I don't think it really matters which one you get. But you do get a slight gap just around your nose, so you can see below the ground in case to make sure that everything around you is clear. But that's it. But you do not look down all the time, or else or else you're gonna get sick. Depending on what type of eyes you have, everybody's different. Interestingly enough, I did not get sick when I wore this headset for the first time. It's just that I did not know the UI or the features of it yet. It took me at least a month to figure it out. Plus all the other things I had to do in my schedule at the time. It was a very interesting experience, and I'm just happy to, like I said earlier, I'm just happy to still be here after 3 years. Although I'm hoping that eventually I would hope to get more resources from the audience to hopefully be doing this as a full-time gig. But it's still a long ways off, honestly. I think the number I have right now in the subs here is 26, which is actually not a bad number. Although I was hoping for it to be much higher. I mean, who doesn't? We all want attention as entertainers. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? And yes, I don't know. So if you're going to, here's the thing, in my opinion, if you're gonna get a VR headset, I don't think it really matters which brand. If you're going to use a headlink cable, which I do, you do not need to spend an additional $100, $200, or $300 for more gigabytes. You only get bigger gigabytes if you're gonna be going completely wireless. Like, let's say you're moving all the time and you don't have a computer or a laptop in front of you, then you might want to get a VR headset with more hard drive space in it. So I got the cheaper version of 120 gigabytes or something like that, and because it was cheaper and it is more stable with the headlink cable on anyway. So I'm just happy to have a VR headset at all. And eventually, Big, you don't necessarily, if you are really low on cash, Big, just save up enough money for a decent laptop at the very least. If you're gonna get VR, might as well get just the cheapest VR headset you can get, brand new, if you can. But if you're still short on cash, I think you should just get a laptop. I didn't have a gaming laptop at all. I only had a laptop in the 2000s. That's it. That's how limited I was on the budget. Very, very limited. I didn't get a desktop until the 2010s. But even then, I didn't have the best hardware at the time because I did not really know what I wanted to do in my life until later. That's essentially, that's basically my life story in a nutshell. I looked at all these courses in university and college back in the 2010s when I was just wrapping up high school. And I kid you not, nothing stood out to me. Nothing. And this is not just me saying, "Oh well, what can I possibly work on that will get me enough money to make ends meet?" That sort of a thing. Nothing really stood out. Nothing. So I just got very lucky with help from family and stuff just to work full time just to make ends meet right now. It's not the best, but I'm just happy to be working. Not many other people are so lucky to be working right now. Not many. It doesn't matter what you do for a living, as if you can pay your bills, that alone is an achievement. It's not much, but it's at least it's something. I'm glad to have a roof over my head. Not many others are so fortunate. Yeah. How long have you had that Oculus 2, Big? When did the Oculus 2 come at first anyway? I have to look that up right now, but when did that first come out? What, 2015, 2016, 2014? I need to look that up. But anyway, it's a first month Oculus 2. Ooh, so you got the first version. But when did the Oculus 2 even first come out? I have to look it up on the internet.
Ironically, that's actually one I have. Besides the Quest 3.
When did that first come out? Like I don't know. I don't need to know what month, but what year? When did it come out? 3, 4, 5 years ago? I don't really know when.
I don't know, to be honest.
I have to look that up. But if it's 5 years ago, then that is pretty impressive that it's still working after all these years. And it's not just VR chat, like I said. I'm trying to experiment on, try to see what stands out. There is Escape from Tarkov. I never played Escape from Tarkov, but there is an equivalent to that in VR called Ghost of Tabor. I haven't had a chance to play that one. I did play it for 2 hours or something in total weeks ago, but I haven't had a chance to touch that game because I've just been very, very occupied, to say the least. You have to fix it with a dead blow hammer. That's one way of doing it yourself. Yes, Ghost of Tabor, Big. I don't know if I did post maybe 1 or 2 videos from that game, Big. Just 1 or 2 videos, and I'm not too crazy on Escape from Tarkov style games, but I did have some decent time with it. I don't know if I'll have time to do it tonight, but that is something that you might enjoy if you like survival games, Ruza. It really depends if you are into that, because that's what Ghost of Tabor is, and it's surprisingly optimized. But then again, any VR game in the market right now is more optimized than this game. Let's be honest here. Any VR game out there is more optimized than this.
For the Quest 2, it was announced on September 16, 2020, and released October 13th.
Wait, 2013 was the first version of Oculus 2 when it first came out?
It was announced on the 16th of September in 2020, but released on October 13th.
So 3-4 years ago. Funny how technology changes so much in 3 or 4 years. Wow. I never played Escape from Tarkov, or I do have Pavlov VR, but not Pavlov's chat. I do have Pavlov VR. That game is very hardcore, Rosa. If you want to go, if there's no such thing as sitting mode in that game, you have to actually stand or crouch. You really have to actually do it. But yeah, so I
actually played Escape from Tarkov. It can be a bit difficult.
Have you tried Ghost of Tabor? It's basically that game, but VR. You may or may not like that game. You may or may not like that game, Ruza. It's only one way to find out.
Pavlov VR is the full version publisher. Then yes, Big. To answer your question, I already did play Pavlov VR or Pavlov Shack. It's not a bad game. It's just that I've just been very occupied. If anything, VR games, even to this day, it's still out of my comfort zone. But I'm still willing to continue to try it and see what sticks out. I'm very old school, just like many other people. Just grew up in desktop games, first with a controller, the good old days. Eventually moved on to PC, get a keyboard and mouse. But I am still inexperienced. I am still very inexperienced when it comes to playing games with a controller because I don't do it that much like I used to. And VR is also, heck, if I had to do a comparison between VR and controllers, I'm more experienced in controllers, obviously, because I grew up with the good old consoles back in the day. But I'm not really afraid of the win or loss ratios that much. I say that all the time in Rainbow Six Siege, Ruza. That may or may not be your type of a game, but I do see the fun in it, regardless of how many wins or losses I get. So it's just it really depends on your preferences, and I'm just happy that I did find stuff that I enjoy, but I don't expect everyone to agree with. If you actually like it along with me, that is a huge bonus. Also, I noticed an announcement for Goose Goose Duck. I don't know. Well, it's been a while since I've touched that game. Apparently, they got another map in the works. I don't know if that's going to keep my interest or pique my interest, but I will give it a shot when it eventually does come out. Multiverses. Have you ever played any of the Super Smash Brothers games? Any of them?
I've played a couple of them. The Wii one was one of my favorite ones.
So Multiverses, I don't know if you ever heard or seen that game, but it did come out two years ago or last year, but the servers and the controls were Apparently they're going to make a comeback this May. Except this time the game is on Unreal Engine 5 and it's supposed to be more stable. So I don't know if it's going to take off again, but it does have your favorite characters. It did die fast big, it's true, but they're making a comeback so that this time it's not going to be as bad. I do remember when that game first came out, the servers were not good. They were very unstable. Not to mention, people are saying their controls, that when you control your fighting moves in that game, some people were saying it wasn't responsive. But then again, we will see when they will try to make a comeback. So, Multiverses has your favorite characters. That game is free, by the way. If I'm not mistaken, it's not going to take too much space on your PC. It has your favorite characters: Wonder Woman, Batman, Shaggy, Velma. That game has all those characters, and Wonder Woman was my favorite character in that game, and hopefully it will have a decent comeback. And I'm actually going to try to play that game with a controller instead of keyboard and mouse that I did originally, because I didn't have a controller at the time when that game first came out. So I'm willing to give that game another try. And the good thing is the game is not heavy on resources, so your computer will easily run that game very easily. Doesn't require a lot of resources. Thanks again, Big. And yeah, hopefully they have found out how to balance that game, because I know people are complaining about some characters being overpowered. It's just basically no different to any other game. People are going to complain no matter what, but you try to find a decent balance. Got myself some hot coffee on my right hand here. That's the problem, Ruza. I don't know if you have this problem a lot, but when you wake up and you go about your day, you truly did not wake up yet. I don't know if that happens to you a lot, but it does happen quite often with me. I do not really wake up. I'm just on autopilot. And I have to drive. Cannot afford to make any mistakes. In my case, coffee and beer. So there is just, remember what I said earlier? There is just enough of a gap so I can drink through my mouth here. There is just enough of a gap so it doesn't get in the way. I don't know if yours hasn't enough of a gap, but there's enough for me. It's just enough. And I'm just again very fortunate that I'm just still here. And any VR game out there, Ruza, is more optimized than this game. Any other VR game is more optimized than this game. Oh, that works too, Big. If you want to drink it through a straw, there's nothing wrong with that either. There is nothing wrong with that. It just really depends how you want to, because I know you don't want to be uncomfortable, that sort of a thing. But there really is no right or wrong way to to do VR anyway. It just depends if you're comfortable or you care. And I'm just looking at if there's anything that stands out that we can do. Nope, done that already. Nope. Funny thing is, my headset is telling me that my batteries are low, even though they've been 10% for at least a week now. That's funny. That is very funny. 10% energy for at least a week. Hilarious. How long does your controllers? How long do your two controllers survive, even though it tells you even though it tells you it's in low battery?
I guess it just depends on how much you use them. I don't use them too much.
It's just the Steam library, of course. Of course. I mean, they tried to, the devs for this game did say that they tried to optimize the game, but I don't know how much they can optimize it. There's only so much you can do, especially with an old engine like this, whatever they're using. Like, when did this game come out originally? What, 2014, 15, 16? I don't even know. But I know this game has just been going on for a while. Like I said before, there's a couple of other VR games out there that have tried to recreate this. Couple of ones that stand out are Rec Room and what was the other one? I forgot the name of the other one, but it's sort of like Rec Room, but does look a little bit more like this, where you can have custom graphics, custom avatars, but they don't have nearly as many people. Doesn't have nearly as many people as like this game. Thankful, but for the most part, though, I'm glad that there are people in this game that do realize to not to go too crazy with graphics because it's not very optimized for VR headsets. In fact, this game is more optimized on desktop, which is obvious. Your GPU doesn't get used nearly as much, especially if you got the headlink cable. But I think that's pretty much a given fact at this point. So.
I mean, I use the virtual desktop. I don't use a Quest Link.
Oh, I don't use. I use the Link on my Quest 3 here because I think it's a decent thing to do, and I do notice that it is stable. But again, there's really no right or wrong way to experience VR. It really depends what you want to do. So I'm not gonna sit here and judge. I'm not gonna make an essay to what you can and cannot do. If you're happy with it, more power to you. I think some people out there just want to make arguments of how to truly experience VR just for the views. I think that people just do that for the views. So we're just hanging out here. Perzon is here. You know what's funny, Ruse? I'm actually lifting my legs up in the air right now, but I'm in sitting mode, just to stretch my legs a little bit.
I'm not in my trackers today because I don't feel like putting them on
Does
right now.
Does this world have audio link? There's no video player here. There's no video player that I see here, so you don't have to worry about audio link. Just has background audio. That's it. This world doesn't have an audio link, if that's what you're wondering. Just the background, and that's it. Just the background, and that's it. If I was gonna go to a video player world, I would go to a stable one where it doesn't have a lot of particles and stuff going on. So, And I can stand. I do have the headlink cable and my headphone cables long enough so I can stand around if I have to. Good exercise, honestly, but nah. Um, I don't think your audio link. I don't think I'm really worried about audio links when it comes to avatars because I already turned down the avatar audio anyway. Because I know some people can abuse that a lot, very easily. So I just turn it off. So if I'm not mistaken, yeah, when it comes to avatar volume that I have, avatar's volume on the audio volume setting here, I just turn it down to 0 because most of the time I don't need to listen to it anyway. So
Yeah. The ironic thing is, mine actually has music playing. Only thing is, you'd have to be next to the head to actually hear it.
well, I still turn down the
That's all I
avatars
think with
anyway.
mine.
Oh, Audio Link is a
I
light
have a
show.
Walkman on my hand.
Oh, well, as long as you keep the audio link turned off, you'll be fine. Honestly, if your avatar's an audio link, you know when to turn it on or turn it off. Because if you're going to a world that has a lot of particles like this one going on, then you obviously don't use it. So, I'm pretty sure most avatars that with audio links, you have an on and off switch. I think that's pretty much a given, yeah? I don't know. Oh well, honestly, Parazon, I don't see why not. You can still join in, and if it causes any issues, you can obviously change the avatar in a moment's notice. So there's only one way to find out. So again, Parazon, if it causes issues like we will notice, then you can easily change avatars if necessary. So I wouldn't worry too much if you have an audio link. It doesn't bother with me. Plus, I already have the avatar's volume turned down, so I don't need to worry about what your avatar is playing anyway. And I know there's a light show, but still, I don't have to worry about people playing any audio and stuff. I keep it straightforward. Okay, just lights. Got it. I took extra 30 minutes just to show up today, Parazon. And yeah, Parazon, if you haven't seen the new the animated emotes yet, if you haven't used their Prime yet, I hope you enjoy them. That's why I added those emotes, like I said earlier. It's because it hopefully adds value to it, whether you use it for free to the Prime thing or you use $5. Like I said many times before, I was gonna add them, but last year the slot limit was very small. You couldn't add a lot, but they finally added more, so that's good. Also, I tried to do with something a little different here, Parazon. There's no video player here, but I thought this world is something a bit closer to real life in a way. You know, it has a typical underground feel, with the graffiti. So nothing too special, just something a bit close to reality. And the lighting is pretty decent here. I don't know what it looks like in your VR headset, but I think it looks pretty decent to me. I can imagine it looks a lot better on desktop. So, but yeah, it's up to you. Yes, Big. That is an enormous tail. Yes, Big. We know that's an enormous tail.
Yes, massive.
This is just my excuse, Ruza, to say enormous tail. Emphasis on enormous tail. That's I have no good reason to say why I say enormous, but I love that word. Yes, but to reiterate what you said, Big, that is an enormous tail. I think I said that like 10 times now. Who cares?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, Parazon, you're wrong. I like enormous tails. I think I'm just trying to brainwash my audience to saying enormous more often instead of big. That is my resolution for today. Try to make people say the word enormous again. Enormous more often. For no good reason. Lovely. Speaking of coffee, I need more. Yes, big. It's about as big as that what fox tail from that anime show. I forgot the name of it, but it's fluffy. Yes, it is fluffy. Ah, that's good. Uh, if I don't mind me asking, is that avatar you got from a public world, or did you design that, or did you have someone design that for you?
I did the texture. I did a bunch of the add-ons myself. The tail is also an add-on.
Did you also work on the bones, or it doesn't have any? Does it not have any bones?
I mean, fizz bones. It has fizz bones.
Okay, and always double check. Always double check to make sure your avatar interaction overrides are forced on. Good. It's forced on for me. Good. Good. Like I said, I had a very long day today. I'm just trying my best to stay awake. Just a bit longer. Same thing happened yesterday. I was not exactly at my 100%. In fact, I was like 50% yesterday. But I still came on to play just to get some stress off my back. Literally. Feels good to be here. We could do another world here, but I just wanted to stay in this one just a bit longer. It's something that I don't mind doing. It's okay, Big. I appreciate your concern. If I was really exhausted or tired, I would have stopped right now. I have enough energy to keep going for at least another 30 minutes to an hour, because I try to fulfill my promises of doing a show entertaining you guys. And just to reiterate another thing I've said in the past, Ruse, I don't think a lot of people know this, but this is just to say for newcomers or people that are possibly watching this right now. I do not mind trans people or anything like that joining us here. The main thing I care about is that they're not going to throw negative attitudes around. That's it. I don't want negative attitude just because they are that. So I don't mind them at all. But also but to be fair, and this is not gonna change things too much, but when it comes to intimacy or personal relationships, I'm still a straight man in reality. So I prefer women, and that's it. But I'm very confident with myself, to say the least. So if I find out a date of mine is a trans and they didn't tell me, that is a big no-no. So it sucks when someone lies to you like that in something that is a big deal. So, but anyway, I digress. I could change that big, but then again, the reason why I have the points big is that I don't want it to be spammed. I know it's very easy for people to accumulate those points by just leaving this thing on in the background or something. I mean, that's a pretty common thing for people to do, but I don't want it to be spammed too often. So it's something that, I'm basically being upfront, Big, but you also have to be very careful not to be honest on certain things. The problem here, Ruza, is that you can't be honest on certain things in media nowadays. Sorry, but you can't. I wish you could be, but you can't. And that's the unfortunate reality, Ruza. You can't be honest on certain things. Nope. I wish you could be, but you can't, because feelings. And do you know this saying or phrase? The message. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know that? Do you know what I'm referring to? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I refer to that? No. Well, think of some of the newest Star Wars shows, Ruza. I don't know if you've heard or seen those, but let's just say that some TV shows. So, before I accept Parazon's invite here, let's just say that some of the TV shows nowadays, they're not interested in good writing. It's about, and I'm not saying all shows, by the way. I'm pretty sure there are some good shows out there, but it takes quite a bit of looking around. But some shows, especially high-profile ones, they care about diversity or quote-unquote strong characters, but they're not really strong characters. Don't you just find that annoying, Ruza? Don't you just find that annoying? Like, we want good characters. I don't care if they're gay. I don't care. But there are some people out there.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's some people out there that think, oh, make a character gay and that will make the show much better. No. No, it doesn't. No. If that is your only thing to make a show better, then you haven't learned anything from movies that have been the last 50 years then. Sorry.
I mean, I don't really watch too many TV shows and movies, so I normally just watch anime.
Oh,
Actually, recently when I started watching was Solo Leveling.
then it's a good thing you're not watching Then it's a good thing you're not watching that many shows here in the Western Hemisphere. Then most of them are not really that memorable. Sorry. Maybe 10, 20 years ago.
A good actual show I've watched before is called Lucifer. It's a pretty good one.
That's why I'm really reluctant to watch any media nowadays. Not just on TV, not just online, but on YouTube as well. The people that do for entertainment nowadays is so cringy. You wanna see diversity done right? Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I don't know if you've ever seen that show, but Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Look that up. Lots of different alien races, lots of different people with color, and it was done right. Just look up any scene of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. You don't have to know the lore, Ruza. You don't need to know the lore of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but you'll enjoy the characters for what they are. It's good to see Parazon here. Again,
Hello.
Big. So if you're interested in good characters, I don't know if you're a Star Trek person, Parazon, but just look up any scene from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. You'll enjoy that show. So, we were just talking about how not every show nowadays is just not really that great to watch because reasons. So that's a bit of a long. So like I was saying, Parazon, every once in a while when I'm in the mood, I go into the new category and I try to find some worlds that are a little different. And this is one of them. So it's a bit close to real life, but I thought it would be interesting. So you got your usual graffiti, abandoned overpass, if you will. Nice. Take it easy, Big, and good luck with that interview that you gotta do. He's got a job interview on Monday. Apparently, he's going to become a welder. It does pay very well, but it's also hard work, I imagine.
I took I actually took 3 welding classes.
But did you actually work on a welding place or anything like that, or?
No, all of them wanted full time, and I can't last that long on a concrete floor.
Yeah. So what Big is going to be doing is he's going to try to go full time for it because it pays well, but I imagine it's hard work and you basically have to wear the right equipment mask or it's legal.
Yep.
So that's what he's hopefully going to do.
You don't wear the right mask, you're blind.
Well, not only that, but if you don't use the equipment properly, you could possibly burn the whole place down, that sort of a thing. I don't know what the welding industry is like, but things can go very badly wrong if you do not know what you're doing, especially in that field, I imagine. I've been trying to, like I was saying earlier.
Mainly
Go ahead.
if it's like underwater or tank welding.
Oh, underwater welding. That takes a lot of bravery.
Yep.
You know why I know this? I don't really look up this topic that often, but I remember I don't know if you remember history that much, like recent events, but do you remember that disaster from 2000 where this Russian nuclear submarine basically blew up and it sank into the bottom of the ocean? Do you remember that?
No.
You know that one? You know that story? No. Well, to make a long story short, this Russian nuclear submarine on the northern coast of Russia, they were just doing, training exercises, and one of the torpedoes they used was not well maintained, so it blew up, and it basically killed everybody on board, and it sank into the bottom of the ocean. The people that were
This was a Russian sub?
Yes.
Sounds about like Russian tech.
Well, the sad but good news of this story was, did I mention that the submarine is nuclear? So when that thing blew up,
power, yeah.
so thankfully, the people that were in the submarine that were still alive noticed something was wrong, and they were able to turn off their nuclear reactors. Imagine if the explosion somehow penetrated the shields, or whatever the shields were holding the nuclear reactor. Imagine if the explosion reached the nuclear reactors. It would have contaminated the ocean. Can you imagine how disastrous that could have been? You remember?
Yeah.
You remember how Chernobyl was really bad and it went to the atmosphere? Well, imagine the entire ocean being polluted by nuclear radiation. That would have been a disaster. So, and the welding part, I'm getting to that. So, the Russians hired this European company. I don't remember the name, but they basically hired this European company to salvage the nuclear submarine. And they were doing welding underwater. And you can imagine how dangerous that was. Just welding into spaces that you don't know what there is. Whew. That takes bravery. I don't think I would have done that.
Well, that's more of just cutting your way in.
You're cutting your way and you don't know what's there in that submarine. You don't know what's there. But the reason why
welding is when you're combining two materials.
Well, nevertheless, they cut their way in. I don't know if it's welding. I'm probably getting this wrong, but they had to cut their way in regardless. May not be welding, but that's still very dangerous. And they had to attach hooks to all the holes they cut in. So I don't know if that is considered welding, but nevertheless, that was still a dangerous thing to do. Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh, terrible. Yeah, and that was a tragedy that should never have happened. That's the long story short. They were using torpedoes that were not even maintained properly. So imagine you having a microwave in your house or something that's keeping your entire place alive, but you neglect it for a long time. You can imagine how that goes. But like I said, I'm trying my best to do more VR stuff, but I've been way too busy. That, and I've been a bit more tired recently, but I'm glad I'm on my off days soon here. Can't get there soon enough. That, and I got sick last week. I got sick last week. I was basically stuck on my bed for a whole day. That's how bad it was. I don't know if you've ever had those, but it was bad. It was really bad. And the worst one was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It took me at least a few days just to get back on my feet. The first day was the worst part, but the second and third day, that's when you slowly rise back up. But still, the first day was the worst part, that you can't do anything. And have you ever had bed sores? Have you had bed sores? No? It's when if you stay laying in your bed for too long, that's what happens. You don't move much. Don't do that. Get up once in a while. And if you have to lay back down, do it. But don't stay completely frozen for a long time. Ugh. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how well fit you are. Just get up once in a while. Do something. Then lay back down if you have to. I've been trying to find some worlds that we can do. Not just Audience Anarchy, but once again, I've been very, very busy. And what's kind of disappointing, Parazon, is the last I checked on Audience Anarchy, most of the things you can do on the scripts either requires either 2 or 3 people, and it's not easy to get 2 or 3 people sometimes, so it's kind of limited.
Yeah.
But I didn't forget about it. It's just that I've been
Yes.
behind. So I don't know. Is it just me, or is VR chat a little bit more stable now? Because every time I go into this launchpad, in some cases, it runs really slowly sometimes, or it just lags out a lot. Maybe they optimized it a bit. I don't know. I don't know. It's just noticeable. Wait a minute. So you can only go into PC. You can only go to PC and Quest only worlds, Parazon. I forgot. I don't remember what platform you're on, Parazon. So can you go into PC only worlds, or it has to be PC and Quest worlds?
I'm on PC.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's it.
All of us are.
Okay. Because I do remember there were some
Yes.
people that said that they can only be they can only be on Quest. So if it says Quest, that also includes smartphone users as well. Speaking of smartphone, there's still no iOS version of this game yet. Just Android. I haven't heard of the iOS yet. Who knows how long that's gonna take. I'm just looking at my list here on what could we possibly do that could be decent. Wait a minute. Is this possible? I don't know if this is even possible.
I have one world. It's a bowling world, but
I don't know if you're gonna enjoy this, but that would take too much time. There's also Uno, but that would take too long. And it'll be just an excuse to torment Parazon here. It was just an excuse to torment Parazon here.
God.
I think I'm bringing up the horrors of Parazon and Uno already. Lovely. What is possibly worse than Uno? That's rhetorical. That's what you're wondering. That's rhetorical.
I'm gonna let's go to a horror map.
No, thank you.
Wait.
Oh, there's your answer.
Nope. 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 See, I have a list here, but it's hard to find what could be appropriate right now. What could be appropriate? Nope. The amount of resource it takes to run doesn't bother me, but it has to fit the mood. Oh wait, I have a perfect idea. Parazon, I hope you're not gonna kill me for this. And no, it is not Uno.
Guess we're gonna find out.
It is not Uno, Parazon. That's what you're wondering. If you thought, Parazon, if you thought I was gonna do the reverse card, you're sadly mistaken. Alright, I'm gonna put the portal here, and we have done this before actually, but I don't think Parazon was here for that. So, or maybe Ruza was not here, but this time it'll be interesting. This will probably be the last thing I'll do here. Fun! We have done this before. But I don't think Ruza was here for that. So it's story time, sort of. And yeah, I don't know if you've done this one before,
I've
Paris,
been here before.
but Ruza hasn't, so this will be interesting. We're gonna go to this one here. This room right here, Ruza. This room. I'm just waiting for her to show up. There you go. So this time, Ruza is going to be doing this with us. This will be interesting. And let me just fix up this camera angle so that it'll be appropriate. And there you go. Problem solved. Okay, there you go. So Ruza, this will be your first time doing this with us. It's very simple, but we're obviously going to skip the 18 plus questions, which will show up randomly. So don't worry about that. Okay, here we go. Put that just right there. So Parazon, since you're our first guest here, and let's start off with you, and we're gonna do this clockwise.
Oh boy.
Yeah, here we go. Just click on this. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good question.
Probably stir fry.
You don't have to
Like
go too
chicken
close to
stir
the
fry.
Parazon. As long as you point at the center, you're fine. You don't have to go
Oh
close.
yeah, you can.
Yeah. All right, so hopefully Ruza doesn't get an inappropriate question here. Ooh, this is a good one, Ruza. What comes into mind? Our favorite. Not the favorite, but our favorite.
I just want to be intergalactic. At least the music, the video, not so much though.
Beastie Boys. I remember those guys. They were very big in the 2000s and 90s. I don't hear much about them anymore, but I'm glad they got their mainstream attention, and well-deservedly so. This is a bit of a gray area, but the answer is simple. But the answer is easy. Slow. Savor the moment, if you will. Savor the moment. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good one.
Oh.
And just to emphasize, I'm not talking statues
That's
or
freaking hard
plushies. I'm living, like actual living things. If you could own one, that's
Oh,
living.
I know. Oh.
If you're me, it'd probably be a dragon, to be honest.
Honestly, probably. I wouldn't know which kind though.
Well, what comes into mind? You don't have to be specific.
Probably water dragon.
Oh. And ooh, this one is personal. Have you?
I've heard of it.
But have you? Have you?
I've heard of it.
No.
Have you ever had?
No.
Okay. Moving on. How does someone earn your trust? Oh, I think I have answered that question. Slow and steady. Why? Because you slowly know what my habits are when you don't know it. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's what's that expression? If I got this right, that show don't tell. Yeah, I think that's the one. Ooh, that's a good one for you, Parazon.
Ooh.
Any theory.
I don't
Parazon.
know.
Any theory. Any theory. Love at first sight, that sort of a thing.
I can't think of one.
Okay, let's do another question then. Ooh, this is what is a personal one, Parazon. This was a personal one.
Damn.
I don't know if this is any easier.
Probably I love you to my girlfriend. I mean, I say it all the time, but like, one last time.
Yeah. I'm not discrediting the previous ones, but let's just say that this time it is just as special. That sort of a thing. Alright, hi, Knight. It's story time. Alright, here we go. Ooh, this one is a good one for you, Ruza. Ooh. This is a good one.
It honestly just depends.
If yes, then why?
Like I said, it depends on the situation.
So the one time you had to, why? Why did you do it? So the one time, doesn't matter which time. If you had to do, the times you did do, why?
Yes, I don't know, to be honest.
If you don't know, that's fine. But I just thought it was worth mentioning. So. Alrighty. No, moving on.
It's like I could try not to if I could help it, but yeah.
Oh, this is easy, Parazon. Because I don't want things to be chaotic. I don't know if you ever played Deus Ex Human Revolution, that game, Parazon, but one of the endings still stands to me after all these years. Absolute freedom is no better than chaos. Say what you want about the laws and rules, but there needs to be some rule and laws, because I don't want people just going killing everybody because it's legal. That's not good. That'd be chaos. I mean, the courts. Don't get me started with the court system, regardless of which country you live in. It may not be perfect, but at least there is some order, and not people just being outright crazy in public. I don't like that. I don't want to live that life like that. At least we have law and order here in North America. At the very least, we have some law and order. But I digress. Ooh, Parazon. Oh, why do you keep getting these questions? I don't have control of these questions.
The game favors him for this.
I've only had one girlfriend and I've had her for almost a year. Like, come on, I don't know.
Well, if it makes it any simpler, Parazon, wow, what was your first date? Where did your first date take place at all, if you don't mind saying?
Physical date?
No. Where it took place? Where did your first date take place? Where? Did it take place in the movie theater?
Well, that's what I said. Like my first physical date with my girlfriend.
Yeah. Did you go? Were you in a mall? Were you in a movie theater?
We actually went to basically like a sushi buffet. It was actually insanely good.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Oh, this is a good one for you, Ruza. Can you be relied on?
Of course.
No, we're still going, Knight. What time is it right now? Almost 11. We still got time. Moving on.
Oh, you're an hour ahead of me.
What? Okay. This is so hypothetical, Parazon. This is so hypothetical. But if I had to choose a furry meal. No, just kidding. That's not real. That's not an actual meal.
What the fuck does
Wow.
that mean?
That's a good question.
This will change every time you ask me this, but if I had to think right at this very moment, probably a pepperoni pizza.
A
It doesn't really.
classic.
I mean, it's not really. I mean, if I had to eat something that I enjoy, even if it's not good, why not?
Technically, anything's edible once.
Ooh, this is a good one for you, Parazon. This is a good one. If you were forced to to a dance competition, what song? What song? What song?
Fuck this shit, I'm out, enough said.
He's like, just nope, right on out.
If that is an actual song, then I'm impressed. I don't pay
It's more like
attention
a
to
meme
TikTok
song, if
threads.
anything.
I had to.
But ironically, it is a song, but it's more of a meme song, if anything.
Parazon,
That's the first thing that came to mind.
Like that
Parazon,
shit, I'm out.
Parazon, I really needed to show you some Yin Yang Twins songs. Yin Yang Twins. Moving on. Ooh. Oh, this is a good one for you, Ruza. This is a good one.
Don't break anything, that's what I'd say.
Obvious. That's a common
Don't
sense
bring
thing.
anything?
Break.
Or don't break anything. Oh. Or don't bring anything. I was like, what do you mean don't bring anything?
Ruza, are you saying I cannot bring my own soul to your place? Is that what you're saying?
Don't
Like,
destroy
I invite you to my
anything.
house.
There.
I invite you to my house, but you are not even allowed to bring your buddy.
Lovely. Do you believe in the ends justify the means?
That's a theoretical one.
I have to say no, because it doesn't necessarily mean that doesn't necessarily happen that way. For example, the real life villains are still alive today, so. Oh boy, unethical. Is it worth bringing up the furry meals at this point? No. Moving on.
Yes. What is a furry meal? I have no idea.
All right, next one. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. I think this question is asking about your insecurities.
I was gonna say a disappointment.
Yeah. Especially when I was younger, I didn't care, and I was definitely had a bit of a did not have any expectations for myself. Ooh, boy, Ruza. This one is kind of close to home in a way. Of which musician? I think this one's an obvious one for me, but I wonder what Ruza has to say.
All the music-related ones.
Well, put it this way: the death of an artist, a music artist. What comes into mind?
Well, okay, I did get the dance, but other than that, all the music ones she's gotten.
I honestly forget the name, but the singer from Linkin Park, to be honest.
Oh yeah, for me personally, this is an
Oh,
easy
yeah.
one. This one is an easy answer for me. Michael Jackson, no doubt. Would have loved to have seen his final tour if he hadn't made it. Would have loved to have seen it. Like he said, he was gonna do it for his fans, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. Damn.
Yes.
Oh, that's an easy one for you, Parazon. This is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer.
Make a friend.
Yes. But how about, let's make this a bit more interesting, Parazon. What was the other person you fully trust? The other person.
Here's the funny thing. Probably nobody.
So you do not fully trust your digestive system?
Jesus Christ.
It's not a person.
Think about it. Your digestive system is a
Well, I guess it's
person
part of you.
down there.
That doesn't even make any sense.
It doesn't.
I'm just being naively philosophical at this point. Okay. Ooh, this one is a broad question. I think there's a huge emphasis on current.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Okay, moving on.
Don't really have a goal.
Ooh, here's a more easier one for you, Ruza. Here's an easier one for you.
Ooh.
Are we talking
I'm
like
not
you
reading
want?
movies.
Are you talking about 3D movies that you actually have to wear glasses when you go there? I think that's the one this is talking about.
I mean, I guess it could be either depending on how well you can take for the
I was
eyes.
going to head
the
out.
glasses, but
All right,
I honestly
take
do
it
like
easy.
3D movies.
one more question, Parazon.
Two.
One more question, Parazon. It will not take long.
Okay.
Yes. Good and bad news. Yes.
I thought we were gonna skip.
I just wanted to skip that, but that was a freebie. What disappoints you the most? Not knowing what I wanted to do in my life after finishing high school. That's the thing. That's the thing. But anyway, final question for you, Parazon. Final question. Ooh, this is a good one for you, Parazon. What do you want to do right now, but fear doing?
This one is a little bit of explaining, but moving in with my girlfriend, because it's like, yeah, fine and dandy, but I have to drive 17 and a half hours to get there with all of my stuff. That's the scary part.
It's not my position to pry, Parazon, but I don't know if you've had this conversation yet. Again, I'm in no position to judge here, but have you ever had the conversation where, okay, if things continue to go well for another year or two, should you move into where I live, even though it's 17 hours away, or do I move in with you, or do we move somewhere else entirely just to find a common ground? Have you ever had that conversation?
I'm moving in with her.
You made up your mind, or it's like an idea at this point?
Yep. It's basically made up my mind.
Is that
And
something?
she
Is that
also
something?
wants that.
Did you made up? Did you? If you don't mind me asking, one final question: did you make up that mind recently, or is this like a while back sort of a thing?
It's been a few months.
Do you live like in Central America, or do you live like on West or East Coast, that sort of a thing?
Central time.
Central. Oh. Do you get bad winters like we do?
I'm in Texas, so no.
Then you got to deal with the mosquitoes and
I'm
the
not in
alligators.
North Texas or North.
Oh, you got to deal with the alligators and the mosquitoes. Fun.
That's Louisiana.
Well, I don't know. I don't know
There's other
Texas
stuff
that
I
well.
see.
Yeah, that's a very common. That's a very
Louisiana's
common
about
stereotype.
12 hours or 8 hours that way.
Isn't that a very common stereotype, Rusa? Thinking that all alligators are in Texas. Whatever.
There's
That's
not
a
enough
zero way of saying
water.
that. That's true.
Alright, I will see you later.
Take it easy, Parazone.
Bye.
And just by pure
See you
timing,
later.
as soon as Parazone leaves, my left controller is finally dead. As soon as Parazone leaves, my left controller finally dies.
Bye.
Yes,
Bye.
finally the controller dies because whatever. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, as soon as he leaves, the controller dies. Oh, that's wonderful. But
Mine still has 90% on both.
you know what? Because the right controller is gonna die at any moment. I have to replace both right now anyway. So. Oh, and I just moved myself. And I just moved myself when I did not expect it.
You're rifting.
And guess what? My movement on the left controller is dead, so I can't move. Wonderful. Now I just gotta open up this thing manually. Lovely. I do not want to know what it costs to replace this controller, so I'm being very careful and delicate right now.
Hello, night.
Good. I'm just replacing my controller battery right now.
Oh.
Come on. Get
Yeah,
in
his
there.
controller batteries are dying.
And I told him some last time I did it.
Probably forgot.
Yeah, he said it was like at 5% or that.
It's 10%, but it
Yeah,
took
that's
took at least a week for it to die.
Yeah, I got 90% in both my batteries. I changed the left one recently, though.
I basically continued on before this thing finally died. All right, here we go. Put that thing.
Left controller seems to drain more over the right one.
I mean, it's just depending on how much you use the right.
Oh yeah, but if it's sitting in like away for a while, the battery still drains and dies.
It's still
sounds
gonna
pretty
drain
fun.
regardless. It's still gonna drain regardless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, get in there. Get in there. I don't want to break this thing. There you go. There you go. Finally. Finally. All right, now I just gotta replace the right controller. I gotta place the right. It's gonna die at any moment, so might as well just replace it now. I think
Yeah.
if one of your controllers finally died, then you replace both batteries. So just wait until that happens.
Eh.
You have rechargeable batteries by any chance?
No, I don't think. The thing about rechargeable battery is that they will eventually lose their juice eventually anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
It's always good to have them, though.
Well, I got plenty of AA, so it's okay. I got plenty of AA, so it's not a big deal.
I mean, it's just fair. I'm getting to get some new ones pretty soon. Or not yet, though. Still got,
Okay.
like, half a container. About half.
Alrighty, there we go. What? There we go. Now that thing is. Oh. What's a bit sad, Ruza, but not really. I just remembered now, is the people that made Baldur's Gate 3 are not going to make any expansions, DLC, or sequels to that game. But it's honestly, I'm not feeling that bad. It's a shame they're not going to add more, but at least they finished the game on a high note. So yeah.
Yeah.
I still say this, Ruza. Despite the positive praises that game has gotten, the banter and the writing in that game still doesn't come close to what I've seen in Mass Effect and Dragon Age. It's still better on those games, in my opinion. I'm saying this because I have a frame of reference. If you've never played Mass Effect or Dragon Age games, then I can see why people say it's a very good game. But I have seen BioWare and at their peak and their best with Dragon Age and Mass Effect. So it's not as grandiose. There's not as many funny moments or quotable lines, in my opinion. So, but it's still a fun game, interesting game regardless. Though better than most games. And I don't know if you've heard the controversy on Dragon's Dogma, Rosa, but the things you gotta do in that game just to pay money is outrageous. Let me put it to you
pretty
this
much a cash grab.
It is a cash grab, Rosa. But let me put it to you this way. You want to change your avatar to something else? Doesn't matter which one. Pay $5, please. If you want to change your avatar again, pay another $5. Doesn't matter which one you have in your avatar library. Pay $5 first, please. Lovely. Basic stuff in games that has existed for years, and you gotta pay. Lovely. Alright, so night is here, so you get the next question. Hopefully, it's a decent one. Okay. What bends your mind every time you think about it? I don't know if that's a good question for you.
I don't get it.
Skip this.
Ooh, this is a good one for you. This is a good one.
Well, I'll just say just depending on the situation.
But the question is asking, are you always making your own decisions?
I mean, it's a 50-50 on that.
Alrighty.
Because I have my own, and then sometimes I go off so much, so...
I don't have any answer to this. I don't have an answer to this. Let me do a different one. We really needed to have this question at one point. We really need to have this
It's always
question.
there somewhere.
If to be perfectly honest here, I don't mind both, the breast and the rear. But if I had to pick one, obviously the rear, obviously. If you had to make me choose one. If you had to. Moving on. Oh, this is a good one. I think there's an emphasis on currently. Currently.
No idea. To be
Moving on.
honest.
Ooh, this is a fun one. This is a fun one for you, Ruza. One thing.
Making things fucking cheaper.
Next question. Ooh, the childish thing you still love to do. A childish thing, the most childish.
Probably arcade games. The arcade.
Speaking of which, I don't know if I have any
I mean, that we all like arcade games.
I don't know if there's any arcade games or arcade places still existing in my city here. I may have to look, but they're not everywhere. I know you can get arcade machines in certain grocery stores that you can have in your own home, that sort of a thing. But in public, I don't recall. I know some movie theaters have them, but they don't have the arcade machines that I love. Have you seen the Terminator 2, the arcade game, Ruza? Do you know what that game looks like? Terminator 2, the arcade game? No? That one is a fun one I would like to do in person. But, alright. Ooh. The worst job? Retail. It's something you just make money, but do not do it full time. If you want
I can guarantee that one.
if you have to do it full time, just do it for the money, but do not do it for the rest of your life. You'll get depressed. Unless you somehow meet a retail store chain that actually cares about their customers and actually pays you a whole lot more than most other places, which is very rare, by the way. Imagine if you actually got paid a lot more. Then maybe it's worth your time. But I can tell you, most places, no. Not even close. No. But the best one? Bodyguarding Paul McCartney. Even though it wasn't that much of a job, it was still interesting. Ooh, guilty pleasure movie. Ooh. Guilty pleasure movie.
Again, I don't really watch movies much, so...
Well, how about this? A video or a show? How about that? A guilty pleasure video or show? You know it's not good, but you still watch it anyway. No?
Or what about anime?
Well, current one I actually do like watching, like I said, a solo one. It's a new one that came out. Really good. I love that one.
Alrighty.
Just another one would be...
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Why this question?
I don't know why, but I mean, I think you guys know. I think you know my answer to this.
Because I'm a
Starts
guy.
with an N and ends with an O.
As a guy myself, I'm still young, so no. But if I get old, and I would use it very, very carefully, because Viagra can really be bad, like steroids. It can be very bad. Because if you do not use it right and you use too much, and you don't use it responsibly, it can be very bad to your heart. Very bad. I mean, let's be honest. If it stays up for too long, it's not a good thing. It can be very bad. Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Anyway, moving on. I think we already had this question. Moving on. Oh, okay, this is a fun one for you, Ruza. That's a fun one.
I mean, it could be possible.
If this question
Because
was
it's repeating over and over again.
if this question was phrased into new, interesting music, then I have a feeling yes. Because technology has gotten better, some people have forgotten how to make this music sound warm. And when I say warm, I'm talking like the old days where things were made on analog. No computers, that sort of a thing. It's still possible to make good music on computers, But people have forgotten. Some people have forgotten or just got lazy about it, and that's why I don't listen to most new music nowadays. Because when I listen to it, I just don't care. Same thing with singers, Ruza. It's hard to listen to some singers nowadays and care about them. Say what you want about the music industry being bad back then, but at least they were talented singers that make it into mainstream, at the very least. Like, you probably heard of Tina Turner, Ruza. You probably heard of Tina Turner. You know her voice, I imagine. No? No. Well, if you ever look up Tina Turner, you can it's a distinct voice at the very least. So. Nope. Oh, this is a fun one for you, Knight. Anything coming to mind, or no? Not really. No?
I don't listen to too much.
Okay, next question then. Ooh. Nothing?
Ghosts. Out of...
For me, the answer is not going to be special, but I would not be surprised if aliens from science fiction exist. It may not be the ones we created, but I would not be surprised if they do exist somewhere in the galaxy that we don't know about.
Oh, yeah, for certain.
I would not be surprised if they exist. And I just hope that they're not going to be xenomorphs. That would be a tragedy to all humanity. I still stand by this, Ruza. Out of all evil things I've seen in media, nothing can beat xenomorphs. They can outright be dangerous, especially if they ever make it to a colony. Nope. Doesn't matter what colony. You can't get rid of them that easily. Nope. Doesn't matter. Oh, this is an easy one, Ruza. Bad videos, bad entertainment. YouTube has some bad ones,
Yep.
but TikTok has even more. That is absolutely a waste of time. The amount of effort some people do for attention nowadays is just outright cringy and just unacceptable. I'm not being media
YouTube
police.
Shorts.
I don't waste my time on
also-
YouTube Shorts. Yeah, I don't waste my time on YouTube Shorts either. It's hard to find one that I actually want to look at the second time around. You just look at it once, move on. Ooh, this is a good one for you, Ruza. I'm not a tattoo person, but this would be like a hypothetical question for you.
I mean, I would get one, but not to honor anyone, to be honest.
Okay. Okay, this one is an interesting one for your Knight. We all have our activities that we do just to get away from work and all that. Anything?
The only thing I can think of is find a place where there's literally no light pollution or anything like that, and just look up at the stars.
Thankfully, there are VR chat worlds that have this. Thankfully. I don't know. I don't know. What kind of a question is this? If you want to know my answer, Ruza, is that we all have organs. I think I'm stating the obvious.
I mean, we all like food, right?
Oh God. Pass or skip? Skip this question? Skip? Ruza, skip?
Yep.
Skip? Oh, this is a good one. It could be a video. It could be an anime. It could be something you saw online or TV. Any lessons?
I
No?
don't know, honestly.
Next. Ooh, this is a good one. No?
Not that I know of.
Is it?
Secret. No, if you don't have one, then moving on. This one is more relatable.
Yes, I always tend to do that because I want to learn some of the lyrics and.
Hey,
I do
awesome!
something myself.
Hey, awesome! It's good to see you again, man. We're just hanging out in VR chat today because that's what you guys voted for. I finally get the chance to do this that I could not do a few days ago. It would be nice if Awesome got a gifted sub finally, because I always know Awesome likes to use emotes, so. I do try. That's why, like I said earlier, I did add those animated emotes to make that tier 1 thing be good value for $5 US. So hopefully that will incentivize people to do either to do the gifting thing or use free for Prime or just spend $5 US. But anyway, it's good to see you again, Awesome. We're just hanging out here. All right, next question. Ooh, this one is personal. Skip. This one is personal.
Yes.
Oh boy, this is sort of personal, but not as personal. What do you think? Again, personal, but not too personal. What do you think?
And the only time that I screwed up was at my own older job.
And nobody
Up
found
there
out?
And nobody found out because I was the only one who that shift. Literally.
Wow. That's another hard lesson in life, isn't it, Ruza? Sometimes you need to have a guilty conscience and live with it. Sometimes you need to have a guilty conscience and live with it.
And it also sucks too when you screw up and it's just like stay job too.
Yep. What was the weirdest thing? I don't know if this counts, but being flamboyant. It's weird, but being flamboyant. Okay. Ooh, this is a good one.
It depends, but honestly, not really. I have other things I could do if it did stuff I stopped working.
That's what I was
Other
gonna
games to
say.
play.
That's what I was gonna say. There's always something else to do. Always something else to do.
Exactly.
Like there's
Plus, we
Pablo
don't have
VR.
VR chat. There's always Discord. There's Rec Room. You know.
Yeah, there's always other
Like you said,
options.
Rec
I may not do Rec Room, but at least it's an alternative. At least. Yeah, I don't have to agree with it, but at least
of course.
it exists. There's always other options. Again, sort of personal night, but it's a general question. It's not. It's not.
Yes.
It's a general question. What do you think?
Yeah, I look for it in
It's a general question. It's not too
in a
invasive.
relation. I mean, hopefully someone cares about me. That's literally it.
Yeah. Again, it's a general
Trust
question.
would be a
Nothing
good
too
one,
personal.
too.
Nothing too personal. Yeah. Nothing too personal. Sort of, but here's the thing, Rosa. Imagine if our bodies did not age the way they are. Imagine if our bodies that turn into 60 did not happen until we reach 120. You understand what I'm saying? If our bodies did not age as fast, imagine if our bodies that look like we're 60 years old did not happen until we're like 120. That would be nice, but that's not the case.
It would.
But then overpopulation will happen.
What are you talking about?
Well, sort of.
What are you talking about, Knight?
That depends.
What are you talking about, Knight? If I lived 1,000, if humans were somehow able to live 1,000 years, I would probably make 20 kids.
Yeah, but there's only so much we can fit in the Earth.
That's true, but I see
Hey,
some
well,
space.
And without running out of resources.
Yep.
Imagine if space travel would become a little easier. Imagine finding another planet that's not Earth, that actually is livable, and it's not hard to travel by space. That would be very nice. But also kind of scary, because, you don't want the vessel to fail, like in science fiction. But I digress. Oh, so it's another general question, Rosa. What do you think? It's a general question.
I don't really think about that. I'd rather skip it, to be honest.
How about this one?
Recently, but I end up staying muted when I do that.
Okay. Ooh. Irrational fear.
Clowns.
Everyone's got to hate on the clowns, but I agree too.
What are those things that are in packages that are usually white in color and they make that noise when you touch them? I hate those. What are those things called again?
I don't know.
I hate the noise it makes when you touch them.
Wait, the packing foam or
Packing
the
box?
bubble wrap?
I'm
Or
talking
the
about
packing peanuts?
not the packing peanuts, but the ones that are usually on the side. Just to keep the.
Styrofoam?
I think that's the one. Yeah, they're usually white in color. Ugh, I hate those.
Yeah.
I hate
And
those.
sometimes when you pull it apart, it comes off in pieces and like little tinier ones.
The one I don't like
It
are
just
the
makes a
noises
mess.
it makes. The one I don't like are the noises that you make when you touch them by
Yeah,
hand.
styrofoam.
Ugh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Burn those with fire.
That's
Burn those with
definitely
fire.
styrofoam.
Nope. Nope.
The one thing I like crushing them. I just like doing that.
I don't. The noise it makes. No thanks. If you could have a candle that never melts, what would be the
Ooh.
scent? I would have to go with either strawberry or raspberry.
I would have to pick. Mine would be like a strawberry kiwi or like a cinnamon. Actually, no. I think there was one I like called. It's like a cucumber one. But I don't remember which one it is exactly. You have most in your mind.
This one is a fun one for Ruz. This was a good one for you, Ruza. What memory that you see in your mind a lot? What memory that you see a lot in your mind, whether you sleep or you're daydreaming? Anything coming to mind?
Oh.
Not really.
Nothing, mind? Nothing? Okay, this one is simple.
Ooh, that's
This
a
one
good
is-
one. Ooh, favorite multiplayer game. There are a few.
What is a
Well,
favorite multiplayer
Phasmophobia
game?
and Lethal
What
Company
is
for one.
what is a favorite multiplayer game to you that you have? What is a favorite multiplayer game that you have? Doesn't matter which one. You have to pick one. Just one.
Can't remember
I'm
the
not
exact
talking,
one.
Ruza. I'm not saying the favorite. I'm talking a favorite. If that helps.
Oh, recent one I found that's fun with one of my friends is Crab Champions. It's fun and goofy.
Oh. A crab where he grabs like the gun and starts shooting?
Yeah, me and my friend played it. It's goofy, but it's fucking hilarious, and I
I
love
think
it.
Ennio has that. I think
Yeah.
actually Ennio
Mud
has
that's a
that.
good
crab
one, too.
game. No, that's not. That's a different game. Anyway.
But Dead by Daylight's another good one.
I mean,
I mean, if you want to skip
I'd rather skip it because I don't think Twitch will allow what I would say. It's letting.
yeah, that's valid. Just skip it.
Nope, we already did that one already. Okay, this one is different.
I mean, I have no friends in real life, so probably just family. It's literally it. Can't really balance between. I only have one thing. Just
I mostly have family also, but I do have some acquaintances. I don't have friends, but I mostly have acquaintances, both online and maybe some in person. But that's it. Okay. Oh, this is an easy one, Ruza. Work. I'm not just talking at home, doing the work here and being online and stuff, but the real life work is the one that varies the most energy. And it doesn't have to be the most physical
Customers and working at fucking fast food.
either. Yes, I think we can all agree.
Especially the Karen customers.
Ooh, this is a good one. What was the longest time you were ever awake and how long? The longest. If you remember at all how long you were that awake.
Probably max about 72 hours.
Do you remember
That's on
why?
my end.
Do you remember why you were awake that long?
Insomnia, probably.
I don't remember the longest I've been awake. Maybe 24 hours, but that's just a rough estimate at this point. This is just a general question. I don't know. I don't think it's
this.
It's just a general question. I don't think it's the best question. Moving on.
I think either I or someone else.
Oh, here's okay. This is a better question. Your favorite clothing style, if you have one.
I really don't have one. I just grabbed a shirt and pants, and that's my day.
Moving on. Okay. This one is more easier for you. Our favorite single player game you have. Our favorite.
My favorite.
Our favorite. Not the favorite. Not the favorite. I'm talking our favorite single player game you have.
I would say our favorite one I have right now is Rimworld.
Yeah, that's why I always emphasize on instead of the, because the is not easy because you're asking like the on top of the list. Oh, this one hits hard, Ruza. But without going into too much detail, Ruza, it just happened suddenly, and they were basically not being truthful to me for years. That one hurts. But I would still go for another one, and hope that they will be that they will be with me for a long time. Let me tell you about relationships. It is a risk, but there's nothing in the world like it. If you do find someone you care about, there's nothing in the world like it. You'll know what that's like if you ever been into one. Okay. Ooh, this is a fun one for you, Ruza. A fun one. A favorite male or female protagonist. Anything coming to mind? A favorite. Doesn't have to be... Ignore number one favorite. A favorite male female protagonist that comes to mind. Anything?
Not entirely.
Nothing comes into mind? No?
Not really.
Okay, next. Oh, this is a good one.
No, I actually never have. I always done my 2 weeks. If I could, I would, but with how things are the state of the world, I can't afford to do that.
Yeah, especially for your next job too. Exactly. If you want to do that, yeah. Technically, I have. Well. No. Actually, no, because I did not do it. I did not do it on the spot. No, never mind. So the answer is no. I never have. We did that one already. Nope. This is for you, Knight, but I'm looking at the questions here. Nope. I think that's obvious.
I saw the last one.
Nope. Okay, this one is a fun one for you, Knight. This is a fun one for you. Anyone. Who would you be your dinner guest? You could pick anyone.
Anyone.
Anyone. Celebrity, whatever. Anyone. Doesn't matter if they're alive or dead. who would you bring as a dinner guest?
Well, I have one in mind, but I don't know her name. But I will choose her.
For me, it's obvious, Ruza. Robin Williams, the actor. Bring him, and it's gonna be a show about him, in a good way. Not when it comes to Robin Williams. I don't know if you know this fact, but Robin Williams voluntarily went to the Middle East to entertain U.S. troops in an army base. Nobody told him to do that. He just went there and he decided to entertain the troops. And he did it more than once. No, seriously, look it up. Go to YouTube and look it up. He actually did entertain American troops and did comedy acts. If I got that right, he did not do it because somebody told him to. He decided to do it. Amazing. Rest in peace, Robin Williams. Your legacy will continue to live on. And not just because people know you because of Aladdin. He did a lot more. He did a lot more than just Aladdin. Mrs. Doubtfire, Ruza. Have you ever seen that movie, Mrs. Doubtfire? Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's an okay
Exactly.
movie.
Yeah. The creepiest thing, Rosa. Ever? No, not really. No. The creepiest thing. No.
No, I've never had any. But I'm aware of.
Okay, this is a general question for you, Rosa. Anything? No. The most concerning.
How entitled people are at this point. They think they are.
Yeah. Especially if they want to do it for views. No thanks.
For clout, yeah.
What would be your intro song? Forget copyright. What would be your intro song?
Probably Ghostbusters theme song. Intro.
Bust everybody. Bust everybody. Lovely. There's this one hurts, Ruza, but the Star Wars sequel trilogy. The New Hope, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker, those are a disgrace to the original the original movies. Yeah.
Oh?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Rise of Skywalker, last Skywalker, and because that's 4, 5, and 6.
They're a disgrace to the
Talking about
quote-unquote
7,
original
9.
before Disney got a hold of them. Sorry, but those are a disgrace to the originals. Sorry. Moving on.
4, 5, and 6 aren't actually part of Disney.
I'm just stretching the question at this point. Ooh, this is a good one, Rosa. Are you confrontational or not? Or no? No.
No, I prefer to stay out of conflict, and I don't like to be confrontational at all. I'm good without that.
But if you had no choice, would you do it? If you had absolutely no choice, would you do it?
I'd probably walk away, to be honest. Otherwise, I'd break down. So, no, I'm good.
What was it? Okay, this is a fun one for you. What was a food you ate only because of someone being polite to you? It's not something you'd normally eat, but only because of special circumstances.
Probably. I know there's this one group that I had for my current job, and all of it was vegan stuff, so I kind of ate it.
Cool.
Kind of. Well.
I can't think of one. I'm gonna be blunt here, Rusa. The answer is no. It'd be nice to help people like the homeless and stuff like that, but with everything being so expensive now, among other reasons, I don't want to be ending up in the red. So unfortunately, I cannot help the less fortunate. Unless I was well off, maybe I could help a bit. But in my position, I cannot. You gotta try to save some pennies and some dollars, because you're gonna need it just to make the next ends meet. Sorry, but that's the truth. Anybody else says a different answer, if you're in my position, like middle class position, then you're lying. I mean, it's noble that you decide to help the less fortunate, but you don't have money to do the stuff you want to do when you're not working. That sort of a thing. Sorry, but yeah. Oh, this is a good one for you, Ruza. What don't you regret that you probably should? Nothing comes into mind? No? Next.
I don't think much.
This one? No? Nothing comes into mind for this one? I don't know. Next. Ooh, a historical artifact. A historical artifact. Anything? No? Nothing? Next.
Try to skip me.
Ooh, okay, this one is more simple. A song that gets you instantly dancing. Ah, song.
If I could dance.
It doesn't matter. What song gets you dancing, even if you're not good at dancing? What song gets you dancing? Ah, song. Doesn't matter if you're good at it or not.
Well, like I said, Intergalactic. I do like that one a lot, so
Okay.
if I could dance it, I would.
Do you pour milk before the cereal? That's a very good
Cereal
question.
first, then I pour my cereal first, then pour my milk.
Hey, Dart. It's good to see you, Dart. Sorry if you're not answering some of these questions, but, you know, that's how humans are. Some of these are inappropriate, but it's good to see you again, Dart. Happy New Year. And I did add more emotes if you ever decide to support the show that way. There are some cool animated emotes and static emotes if you ever wish to use them. Happy New Year to you, Dart. But this is a fun question for you, Dart, since you decide to come on. Do you pour milk before the cereal? I don't know if you eat cereal, Rosa, but do you do this? Do you pour milk before you put the cereal down?
Cereal first, then the milk.
You shouldn't do that. In my opinion, you should not pour the milk before the cereal because you'd be wasting it. So, anyway. Before making a call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say? Sometimes I do that, but most of the time I do not rehearse. Unless it was a very important phone call. I don't think you do this, Ruza. I don't think you do. No? No.
I do, actually.
Oh, you have?
Well, I don't actually have done it. I've never done Kickstarter before, but if I could, there's one I would. But it's kind of a bit late for that now.
Yeah. Well, it's again, Dart, it's good to see you again, man. I've been very busy. I imagine you've been very busy with life as well, Dart. So it's good to see you again, man. Whatever you gotta do to make ends meet. I'm still happy to be doing this whole live show for the last 3 years. But if you ever decide to support the show, you can always share the videos that I have on my YouTube page. They're always there if you ever decide to watch the highlights. I always put those out because I know not everybody has the time to watch these VODs. But if you ever decide to use a Prime or spend $5 on a tier 1 emote, I think you're going to enjoy those. And I did add significantly more emotes that hopefully are good value if you decide to spend money that way. Or gift, so... Imagine if Dark got gifted for once. Because I don't think Dark has ever gotten one. Because you don't see a symbol there. Anyway, moving on. I don't think this applies to you. I don't think this one applies to you, Knight. So move on.
I mean, I don't have a crush right now, so I can't.
I think we already answered.
I think we already did that one.
What have you created that you're the most proud of? Anything?
I didn't really create anything. I mean, the only thing that I created was a little robotics thing that I did back in a robotics class in summer camp. So,
are you I don't know. Drama to be proud of? I don't know. A cover version of a song do you like more than the original? Oh, that's an easy one. Elvis Presley's A Little Less Conversation. I don't know if you've ever heard or seen that music video for that song, but that's a really good one. If you like dancing and you like different types of dancing, you're going to enjoy that song and the video. Look it up. Elvis Presley, A Little Less Conversation. Oh, it was a joke. Okay. I'm not always good with joking or jokes. I'm pretty terrible at it, especially if I'm on the receiving end. Nope, we already did that one already. We think we did that one already. Nope. Okay, this one is a bit different, Ruza. This one is a bit different. The most doubts on what in life do you have the most doubts about?
Say about my own work, I guess.
Yeah.
And people there.
What is your opinion on social media? My answer is obvious.
I mean, depending on what the social media go on, but a lot of social media now is just not the greatest for the human people now.
I just use it to get the word out, and that's it. And sometimes get news, but it's mostly useless information anyway. I'm not gonna remember it 10 years later. But anyway, have you ever lost? Yeah. I think I may have this one thing when I was younger. This really big puppy or teddy bear plushie or something that I had when I was younger. I don't know what ever happened to it, but I would have loved to bring it here and just show it off. This was 10, 20 years ago, by the way. I would have loved to have had that or shown it off. I don't never know what happened to it. Oh, God. Bruce. It is a 0. It's an obvious 0.
I have none.
It's an easy 0 or 1. Let's not be around the bush.
For me.
Or at least a 1, like very little, if ever. Very little, if ever. We're all gonna be at that one point. Maybe just a bit, but not really.
Not that I know of.
Nope. Nope. Okay. What do you think? What do you think, Knight?
Yes.
Here's the funny thing about this question, Ruza. When I was younger, I didn't know any better. I did quote unquote look up people in real life, but now that I'm all grown up, most of the couples nowadays, it really means nothing. Their personal life and what they do, it means nothing. It means nothing. It's nice that they have it, but it doesn't really mean anything if you're not part of them. Ooh, this is a good one, Ruza. Anything?
No, I haven't really heard anything about any of them, though.
Next. The worst thing you've ever done as a kid.
Hell if I know. I don't have that good memory of when I was younger.
Nope. Is this any better?
No.
One video. If you could have one video, what would it be? Something you would show off to other people that you would be proud of.
Apart from one of my games. But I reckon if I do have some recordings of it.
Hypothetical question, Knight. Hypothetical. If you think I have control over these questions, I don't.
You really don't. They're all random.
I'm back. What's the question?
Right here. The hypothetical one, though.
I mean, the last person who had a crush on me back was in high school. It was weird. They were following me all the way around, like like a full week. It's following me.
Stalker status.
Yeah, stalker status.
If
Until I kind of figured it's like, were you having a crush on me or what?
if that happened to me, if that happened to me, and I had my 32-year-old brain back in high school, I would have had the balls and say, let's go out on a date right now.
It was a guy, but
Well, if it was a woman,
was even creepier.
But well, to elaborate, if it was a girl, then yeah, and I would have found out if they were serious or not, or they were joking. I would have been more brave if I had the confidence back then, but I did not. So. A quote-unquote weekend when you have a few days off. Simple. Games and spending time with people if I had the chance.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do.
Ooh, this is a good one for you, Ruza. This is a very good one for you. Who do you consider as family?
Close friends that I've known for a while.
That's a good
And-
one.
Of course, blood too.
Okay, I
Depending.
got time for like 2 more questions. I'll be the last one because I'm looking at the time here. It's been fun though. Come on. Ooh, this is a good one. Which movie cliche you absolutely hate? No redeeming value whatsoever. No redeeming value whatsoever.
To be honest, a lot of cliches I really don't.
Wait, what?
But
Get
I
up
think the
there.
most
What
the
did you
most
say?
one that the most one that I will say probably, and I really can't think about it because I have too many ones that really conflicts with each other. So
Well, how about this? To make it any easier for you, when it comes to cliche, does it have to do with the plot? Does it have to do with the characters or the setting? Which cliche in that sense is the worst? Does it have to do with the characters, the plot, or the setting? If that helps.
character.
Character?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, it doesn't have to be on point, doesn't have to be exact, but at least it narrows it down a bit. That's good to know. In your case, Ruza, what will be the worst movie cliche? It doesn't have to be exact, but it doesn't have to do with the setting, movie. It doesn't have to do with the setting, plot, or characters. What would you think is the worst?
I honestly don't know.
You've probably seen enough shows at this point. What do you think is the worst? Does it have to do with the setting, characters, or the plot?
Probably the plot, depending.
Yeah. the
Depending on
plot.
what kind of a plot it is and how bad it turns out.
Yeah.
You know.
Finally, the last one. If it's a decent one, that is.
I mean, that is a pretty interesting one.
You know what's funny? When I was in high school, I was already when I got into my high school days, this was back in 2009, 2008, 2010. This is before everything, all the social media and everything else took off, and there were gay people in my high school. Not many, but there were a few. Some of them were showing interest on me. I did not know how to react to it at the time, but I don't know if this is considered the question, like experimentation. But I have thought about it. but I ultimately stuck to my roots and say, no, it has to be a woman, and yeah. And just to be clear, when it comes to community building or hanging out with people or acquaintances online, I don't care if Ruza is a trans. I don't care if you're trans. That has nothing to do with the shows I do here. But if I want to be in a relationship with you hypothetically, this is just making a point here. If I was gonna go in an intimate relationship or a relationship that would hopefully turn intimate, I'm not interested in trans. It has to be a woman. Simple as that. Some people are not gonna like that answer, but that is my preference. If you wanna go for a trans, go ahead. I'm not stopping you. But for me, I have a specific preference. That's what, like you said, Ruza. Some people are entitled because you have to agree with what we say. No, it doesn't. No, that's not how it works, and you know it. But yeah. So some people forget that people are allowed to have different opinions. So I digress. That's a long story. So yeah, our night I was gonna do something like this, but maybe a bit longer. Not just focusing on questions, but I would have done a whole lot more if I had more time. But unfortunately, I got into some health stuff that happened this week and last week that unfortunately got in the way. So I wish I could have done more. I would have loved to have done an extra VR game as well, but unfortunately that did not happen. That did not happen because I do not want to see a repeat of what happened all those months ago, where I basically was visibly tired on screen, and it was really bad. So if I'm not in a good health, I always let everybody know. I can't just DM everybody. You're gonna forget. So if you ever want to know what's gonna go, if you ever want to know what's going on, I always post an announcement. You can always look that up. That's another hard thing. That's another hard lesson to learn nowadays, Ruza. You can't just hang out. Well, you could hang out with many people, but honestly, you need to hang out with people that you care about, which is not going to be a lot. So, in my opinion, keep your list of friends or acquaintances small. This might sound narrow-minded, but after getting used to social media and real life and stuff, it's best to keep your quote-unquote list of friends and acquaintances small, because it doesn't help with your mental health if you think about it. I don't know if this is making any sense, but it really does help with your mental health if you keep your list of acquaintances or friends small. It really does help. The same thing will happen in my case. This is not the first time I brought this up, but let's say hypothetically, this whole show that we're doing here, all of a sudden 1,000 people, 20,000 people, 10,000 people show up. It will be a bit different, but ultimately it's still gonna be more or less the same as before, because there's no way I can talk to 100 people at the same time. It's not possible. So I will most likely still have the same people that I can trust while putting on a show, and that's the best I can do. And obviously, you're gonna filter out the people that are not gonna troll, try to ruin the show, because that's gonna happen eventually. So if you do get 1,000 people all at once, if you blow up, I can't just trust on anybody that comes on. We have to be very careful. So yeah, Ruza and Knight, that's another hypothetical scenario here. In case we get hundreds of people all of a sudden that want to join our shows here, even if they pass the 1 week criteria, I think we're gonna have to be a lot more strict when we get that huge influx of people, because as nice it is to bring more people, they have to quote unquote earn that privilege. So again, it's just a hypothetical scenario or thought at this point, but I sort of have those thoughts if we ever do blow up or go viral all of a sudden, because you have to be prepared, or at least have some thoughts about it at least. Because I've already gotten into trouble once already, and this game is very easy to abuse and exploit, as you know. It's not even a secret at this point. It can be easily exploited if you're not careful. So, yeah, that's a bit of a long speech there, but yeah. And by the way, when it comes to casual clothes that I'm gonna be wearing on my days off, hopefully that will change sometime next week, because I have a plan. Also, it'll be another self-promo thing as well. But hopefully that will convince people to support the show even more with the merch store. But we'll see. All right. Oh, I'm starting to feel a little sleepy here. And it's getting close to my quitting time here. But again, I'll try to do VR games more often, Ruse. I don't know how many other VR games you can do with us. But if you ever decide to try them out with us, I think your VR headset can handle it. Probably. I'm not really sure.
Quest 3.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm gonna switch the scene here because I'm starting to feel a little dizzy. Thanks for coming in, guys. I will see y'all tomorrow for yet another VR chat session. I'm not sure if I'll have the energy tomorrow, but I'll keep it simple and light if I have to. Later.